Hello, Internet! My name is Catherine Barsonistas, and you are watching the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis, my weekly, well, for the most part weekly, cooking show where I make recipes inspired by various tabletop role-playing games, such as Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Shadowrun, and in some cases, also D&D-based web series. Like last week we did a sort of stuffed waffle recipe inspired by the Journey Quest web series. This week we are going back to Dungeons & Dragons to Volo's Guide to Waterdeep. And the thing is about Volo's Guide, it takes place in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting by Ed Greenwood, and basically one of the original D&D campaign settings. And the bard Volo is kind of, once again, Ed Greenwood's, I want to say, pet. Basically, he's pet bard that he would go to all over the Faerun and other Forgotten Realms and write about the various locations he finds in each city, most of the time taverns or inns. So we're talking about, I want to say, a Dungeons & Dragons food and travel guide. That's what the Volo's Guides are. Today's recipe comes from Hriiat's Fine Pastries in Waterdeep. I think I'm saying that right. Yes, Hriiat's Fine Pastries. Hriiat spelled H-R-I-I-A-T, like you do. I'm just going to go ahead and read out the bit on Hriiat's Fine Pastries from Volo's Guide to Waterdeep. So here we go. This shop is a bustling place. Locals line up here when the smells tell them that a fresh batch of something is ready for eating. Hriiat's place is known for not just sweets, but for savory pastries, notably the bite pie or the meal loaf. Among the sweets, the hand-sized almond and apple sugar tarts, at 1 copper each, are especially fine. So yeah, we're going to be making same almond apple sugar tarts with a little bit of custard flavored with almond extract and lime zest. And we're going to be using a ginger snap cookie crust because I figure another particular recipe on Hriiat's Fine Pastries list is for bite pies that have curried meat in it. So I figure if this guy's not really all that, I want to say, afraid of using spices, he probably is going to have something a little bit more in the crust to kind of make it a little more interesting. Hello, Chip Toombrony, it's good to see you. So we made some chocolate chip cookies from the Destiny cookbook. Glad to know they worked out well. I'm sure Victoria would absolutely love to hear that. Anywho, back to our pies. So, since I only have 4 tart pans, the rest I'm going to put in these little mini bundt donut pans. I've done it before with my Dishonored apricot tartlet recipe that you can also find on my blog, thegluttonousgeek.com. So, yeah, I've been blathering on for quite a bit, so I imagine we should probably get cooking. So, first, you're going to need to prep, and a lot of that is prepping for your crust. So, that's not all. I also made the Nuka Cherry, Nuka Cola Quantum, and Nuka Cola Quartz. That's great to hear, Chip Toombrony. Alright, so we're going to be taking a big old box of ginger snaps. You're going to be wanting a box that's at least 300 grams because that's going to equal out to about 3 cups of cookie crumbs when it's all pulverized. I got mine at 340 grams, so we're just going to keep crunching up in the food processor until we have enough. I might just do it in a Ziploc bag though, so I can lose one. Here, you can have it. Have a cookie. I love you. My dear husband, who's currently stealing my ingredients. Right, I need a drink to get my nerves down. So, I'm just gonna switch around my stove camera, which I realized I had pointing at the wrong thing for now. Let's just go ahead and switch the cams. Okay, and pull out this thing here, my food processor. Get the blade in there. And I'm going to grab a measuring cup that can actually handle about 3 cups of cookie crumbs. That guy right there. Let's get some cookies in there. yeah, I've checked it right now. One point I made the Nuka-Cola, the Mississippi Quantum Pie, and God, what else did I make? Oh, right, the kind of chicken, cheese, and artichoke puff pastry thingies. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. All right, just gonna pulse these. Into I will admit, I have like little vents on here. They're kind of open, so they're kind of just flying out a little bit. I really do need to, if I can replace the bowl for this thing, that would be great, but I haven't really done any research to see if I could. All right. All right. I think that's good so far. Let's see how much that yields. That is currently roughly about 1 cup. Lovely. Okay. We're going to be here a while. Back. Find where the heck I put my cookies. We might just end up using the whole box at this point. All right. Probably good that I don't have any gluten allergies, or the people who live with me don't have gluten allergies. Because otherwise, my entire kitchen might be painted with ginger snap crumbs. All right. Where are we at? Go. All right, how much do we have now? That is, 2.5. I think we might end up using the whole box at this rate. That is the rest of the box. Let's pray. Pray to Estia that that is enough. It should be. Oh, great Estia, goddess of the hearth, fire, and bacon. Please, just let this be enough cookie crumbs for my tarts tonight. Chip tune brownie, out of the recipes I had on the from the Fallout official cookbook, I want to say the iguana on the stick was one of my favorites, because just that combination of pork loin and red onion was just utterly fantastic. That and it was making the Nuka-Cola recipe that I discovered that I actually do like rum and Coke. Just every time I've had it in a bar, I've had it with Coca-Cola that was made with corn syrup. And corn syrup and rum just don't mix. That's not Jack and, like, rum and cokes. I realize I like rum and cokes. Because, yeah, corn syrup and rum just do not mix. I hope, that is just under 3 crumbs. You know what? I think it might have been that last cookie that my husband stole that might have put it right at the edge, but you know, screw it. It's enough. Sorry. I just heard sorry from the other room. It's okay, babe. I love you. I'll stay married to you. Don't you worry. All right. So we're back to our prep station. I forgot to get the butter out. So you're going to need about a half a cup of butter for this recipe, so a whole freaking stick. And just going to make sure we got everything we need here and prepped as we need it. We'll prep all that when we get to it. I think until then we're probably good. So, all right. So you got a stick of butter, about a half cup of unsalted butter. We are going to need all but 2 tablespoons of that for our crust. So, just gonna grab me a knife, a kniff, and all that. You have kniffs in your kitchen, right? All right. So, just gonna put that in there, check to see if we have any paper left on it. We do not. And I'm going to move that to our stove, not the other countertop, our stove. So I only have one camera right here and one place to put it. I'm just going to set that over medium heat until that melts. And in the meantime, I'm going to figure out what the heck I was doing. Okay, just reading. We're good on that. Awesome. So I'm just waiting for butter to melt in the other camera. Woohoo! Right, so in the meantime, you are going to need a mixing bowl into which we're just going to put all of our crumbs and, you know, hope that my monitor doesn't fall asleep again, which it's been doing. Shouldn't be doing that. So, big old thing of cookie crumbs as we wait for butter to melt and do its thing. But I'm just going to grab a spatula out of here and do a wee bit more prep. And that wee bit is mostly prepping our baking sheet really quickly. So we're just going to need a standard size baking sheet. This is, it's pretty small. It's about a medium size. I'm just going to put some parchment paper on there. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit on my butter so it doesn't brown too much. Yeah, there we go. Just going to stick that on there. Just to get that on there. Next, just going to put my tins right here. It doesn't really matter if they're spaced out evenly. They just have to all fit on there so I don't have to do a weird balancing act when it comes to actually baking these things on my tray. So I'm going to move that over here and check on our butter. Butter's almost completely melted. Just gonna keep on melting. But I am gonna definitely need the other 2 tablespoons of melted butter later. So I'm just gonna grab a small dish for that once I do get around to melting that. Just gotta continue to melt. Melt. Melt, man! With the power to melt. Were you a Kablam kid too? Yeah, there was this variety show back in the 90s. 90s, early 2000s. Actually, no, I just want to say late 90s. On Nickelodeon called Kablam. And it was just all sorts of weird animation stuff. So, there we go. Back to our stove. Where did I put my spatula? Ah, wait, no. Stove. Preps. Alright, so melted butter into the thing. Okay. Just gonna stir all that butter into our crumbs. Make sure all of it, and I mean all of those crumbs, get that moisture in there. See how it's starting to kind of come together for me? Just want to make sure all of it's moist so it gets together and also cooks well together. All right. Yeah, that's cookie crumbs on the ceiling. Okay. Almost there. All right. So, with that. I'm going to create our crusts. So I'm just going to take a serving spoon for now. Just get a sizable scoop into each tin here. Military game says, I love Kablam. Yes! Yes, I found another 90s kid. Yay! That makes me so happy. Oh god, what was the name of that? The hero part, but yeah, it was Dyna Girl, the power, no, Thunder Girl with the power of thunder. The Flesh. Melt Man with the power to melt. And Stinky Diver. Yes, this was a thing. I mean, basically they took all of these action figures and made this whole animated sequence, like, based off of it. All right, so I'm just trying to create a crust by covering the bottom and pushing up the sides. And yes, we do have more crumbs. I kind of want to eyeball it right now to see which one needs more and which one doesn't. So right now it kind of looks like they all will, but we'll see. Oh man. But yeah, Melt Man was a toy that was basically action figure that looked like it had mostly been melted. And the only intact part it had was a nose that would get tacked on there. And I think a lot of missions involved retrieving Melt Man's nose. Yeah, 90s children's programming was pretty messed up, if I remember correctly. I am not complaining. Let's see. That needs more, that needs more. That definitely needs more. Yeah. But yeah, I was that same weirdo who was watching Rocko's Modern Life and Angry Beavers and oh gosh, I started watching, we tried watching the revamped, what's it called, Rugrats the other day, and oh, it does not hold up. Hello, theater nerd. It's good to see you. Welcome back to the stream. Oh gosh, so yeah, for those who have never seen Rugrats, though, if you're on here, it's a very good chance you've seen it. It's like a cartoon, the point of view of a bunch of babies. It was wacky, it was fun. The main character, Tommy Pickles, was based off of Doctor Who. Even had a plastic screwdriver that was basically his tool for everything. It was great. But yeah, Nickelodeon, oh yeah, trust me, you're not missing much trying to watch the new Rugrats, because we tried watching it, and we gave it, we couldn't even give it a 3-episode test, because the first episode, we started watching it, kept on watching it because it opens with a whole Jurassic Park sequence. But the trouble is, there's it's like if you've ever seen that episode of The Simpsons where Homer suddenly finds himself 3D, and then in realism, and it's kind of an uncanny valley and just flat out creepy, because the emotes just don't really work at all for that style of for 3D animation. Yeah, it was basically that for Rugrats, and it felt like the jokes were actually trying to pander to my generation a little too much, to the point where I'm just going, this is actually kind of insulting. So yeah, I do not recommend watching the new Rugrats. It makes me very sad. It's one of those things where if I watch any more, it'll just make me hate Rugrats, and I don't want to do that. Because that is from my childhood, yo. I'm just going to enjoy my cartoon show about babies who can talk in peace. And that's the thing, I'm not even a gatekeeper. I don't really consider myself a gatekeeper nerd. But I just consider if it's creeping me the fuck out, it's gonna creep me the fuck out. And now, with the 2 F-bombs, I am now an R-rated stream. Good times. Yeah, we did a 10, I was just saying that. We did a 10-minute test, we couldn't get past like the first 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that over the stream, but if it hadn't been for the Jurassic Park sequence, we wouldn't have made it past the opening sequence, because quite frankly, it looks creepy. It looks creepy. It's not even cute creepy. No, it's just creepy. There are some shows that should never be in the 3D animation format, and Rugrats is one of them. And I imagine Doug might be able to get away with it. It would just be like a really odd video game feeling, I imagine. Though, come to think of it, I wouldn't mind playing a Quailman video game. And that could be fun. My husband just said yes. There's a reason why we're married. Okay. He was just saying that Quailman needs to play like the N64 Superman game. I have not played that. I'm just going to take his word for that from it. Okay, so here's hoping that these guys, like these all stay intact enough. The final bake. Alright, and since I don't need cookie crumbs anymore, but I do need this bowl, I'm just going to give it a quick rinse to get the remaining crumbs out. There we go. Alrighty. Cool. I'm just going to let that dry over here. And I need to melt the remaining butter for this dish. So let's just move over there. Get this butter in the pan. I mean, sure, you can melt it all at once, but then you'd have to try to measure out 2 tablespoons from that, and that's just more of a pain in the butt I don't want to deal with. So, okay, got my tart shells over here. Just gonna shift them over. And, let's see. Oh, all right. Fun thing I need to do is get some egg yolks going. And I might just fry the whites up as a snack or something so they don't go to waste in my fridge. Let's see. Oh, Willow Tree Game says, by the way, I'm Becky. I went to GSU with your husband and had the privilege to meet you a few times. Just want to say it's super cool to see you on Twitch. Cool. Becky or Becca?
Becca.
Hi.
Hey, Becca. Hey.
She can hear you. The microphone is definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Becca.
Carter says hello. She says hi, Carter. And all caps letters with 3 exclamation points. All right, butter, butter, butter. Well, it is nice to meet you again. Welcome to my stream. It's good to have people I know to talk to on here. Don't worry, we get excited too. Actually, I'm kind of glad that he didn't have his D&D game tonight, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to talk. All right, so I got my melted butter. Just gonna pour that in this dish because we're gonna use that later to brush the top of this before we bake things. So, I'm gonna put that to the side because I don't need it yet. And do a wee bit of measuring. That's right, I need another bowl. One that can fit 4 egg whites. Here we go. All right, time to do some egg separating. You gotta keep them separated. Becca says, unfortunately, I gotta go. I definitely come hang out on other streams, have fun baking and streaming. Well, thank you so much, Becca. It was lovely to see you on here.
Hi, Becca.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna need 4 egg yolks for this recipe. The whites you're not gonna need. You can make a meringue from them and put them on top. I'm not gonna do that though. Instead, I'm just gonna fry up some egg white for a little bit of a snack. So, just gonna break it flat, and then use my shell to carefully separate the yolk. There we go, which is good because that broke on me right as moved. There we go. And that's right, you can totally just shake the egg white out of there. It's honestly heavy enough and it pulls out all on its own. So there's 2. 3. And the way I was taught was to just put it in your hand and the white will slip out between your fingers. However, I don't know. I kind of like doing this because it kind of relaxes me somewhat. It's kind of like a little game. There we go. And then you get all sorts of fun egg cracks like so. There we go. All right, bam. All right, now to your egg yolks. hands washed anyway. Oof. That can go away. You are going to be adding, once I find where I wrote it down. Ah, derp, derp, derp. Let's see here. Egg yolks, sugars. Need a half a tablespoon, measuring spoon, and an eighth of a cup, measuring cup. It's in here somewhere. That's a quarter of a cup. Where'd my eighth cup go? Well, it might be in the wash. Okay. So, now I have to remember, I believe it's about 2 tablespoons. I just took my conversion chart. Yes, about 2 tablespoons per eighth of a cup. So 3 times 2 is a lot. 6. So technically I need about 13 of these then. Yes. Math. Math is fun. We nerds like math, right? Not really? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And how much cornstarch? And how much cornstarch? We need about a quarter of a cup of cornstarch. So, that is about 4 tablespoons. Cornstarch all over the place. Tablespoon. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Do I need you for anything else? Maybe. Maybe not. We shall see. Okay. And I need to do a wee bit more prep in the form of zesting a lime. This adds a little bit of acidity to our almond and apple, which for me, it's kind of necessary because otherwise you just have sort of a overabundance of sweetness, round sweetness, and you need something a little sharper to reduce the amount of richness to it. Just balances it out a lot better. So I'm just gonna zest my lime. Zesting, zesting, zesting. Go. Zest. All right. So now it's for the other part of our custard. So you're gonna need about 400 milliliters of milk, which equals to about 3/4 of a cup. Roughly about that. Honestly, most of your measuring cups have the measurements for milliliters. liters and pints, ounces, cups, all of that on there. So you're going to put all that milk into your saucepan, about half of the lime zest that we had earlier. You're going to be adding about a teaspoon of almond extract. So find where that ran off to. Teaspoon. That's a half teaspoon. So 1 and 2. And if you've never really thought to use almond extract before, if you ever had cherry pie, that's actually the signature flavor you have in the background other than the cherries. It's usually uses almond extract, so just keep that in mind. Right, so that I need to bring this to a very low boil on our stovetop. I'm just gonna move that over here, and I'm gonna put it on medium low so I can keep an eye on it. And it's okay if there's some butter sheen in it. In the meantime, I've got my bowl of stuff here, my sugar, egg yolks, and cornstarch. So I just need to whisk the crap out of that until it is all sticking to my whisk like so. So, just gonna get that there. Yes, it's a paste. It's fine though. Have my spatula, and I can just kind of dislodge that from there. Just gonna smooth that out. And set that, well, I don't really have to set it aside because it's there. So it's gonna sit there while I wait for my milk to start bubbling, which it is not yet, which means I have a little time to put some of this stuff away and have myself a drink. So I'm gonna do that. So eggs, they can go home, back into the fridge where you belong. Sugar, you are no longer needed. Back to the shelf where you belong. Cornstarch, freshly opened. Your new home is in this pantry. Enjoy it, for it is thy home until I discard you from the face of my kitchen. Don't need you. Don't need you. Stick that in there. Well, toss my eggshells. Water, and that can soak a little bit. And what else do I need or not need? See, I need a knife. The egg whites can be a snack, or as I like to call it, snacrifice. Let's get that little bit of egg yolk off my whisk. And I can give our milk a stir. Just set that to the side for now. Okay. Alright, so bowl of egg whites. Just gonna add a wee bit of salt to that. Not too much though. Just garlic powder. And find myself a saucepan. Let's pine that off my stove top. Not saucepan, a skillet. that up a wee bit. There we go. Just gonna light that on fire. Kind of a medium-low preheat skillet, if you will. And I don't feel like I really need to scramble these egg whites because they're already kind of scrambled already, but at least I'm getting the spices and stuff throughout. And then I wait. Just grab a little plate. Nope. Not quite hot enough yet. Wonder what's going on with you folks. My brain is just kind of, not quite there. Okay. Okay. Guess the egg can go on there. All right. Where are my other spatulas? Maybe I should use a wooden spoon this time. Use this. Or, no, we'll use that one. There we go. Actually, I think I've got some parm that'd be really tasty in that. And I've got my little cat right next to me. Oh. Give that milk a stir to keep that from getting a skin. But we are getting very close to being done with both of this, actually. Big fat handful of parm. All right, that is very much a low boil. So let's okay, white omelet. All right, that means we can switch cams. We are at a low boil. Yeah, stay. So, just gonna whisk this in. gradually. Notice how it does less of that sticking together nonsense once I get some milk in. But this also cooks the egg yolks as I'm mixing it in to help thicken it and set. Okay, that is blended nicely. So now, I last little bit off of there, blend that in. Just gonna transfer that right back in to my saucepan and bring that to a low boil once again on our stovetop. We are blend that a little bit. In the meantime, give this saucepan a quick rinse. Cool. And I think I don't need this bowl anymore, so I'm going to put it away. And now I've got kind of a Parmesan egg white omelet. I'm just gonna try it out here. Switch back to our prep cam. That's really good. I figure my husband probably wants some too. So, sure. Let's go ahead and try some. I go back to our custard, which I forgot to put the heat back on. That's why it's not coming to a boil yet. That would help, wouldn't it? Good? Speaking of food, I believe our pies probably are warm enough. Why don't you go ahead and check, babe? Minutes. Okay, so I'm doing this now whenever I need to make hollandaise or something. That's delicious. Smells nice. Just move this out of the way. By the way, the recipe that I'm going to be posting tomorrow, the photos are all done. I just need to write the post. The cards are all done. All of that is for, here, let me grab some oven mitts. Do you still have them? Some black stout gravy pie with cherries, carrots, mushrooms, and pork. And it's right here. Yeah, that one I had to I had to kind of dig into for a photo, but oh, they ended up really good. And that, as well as my Dragon's Blush Smoked Paprika Ale, are both going up tomorrow during the, hopefully around lunchtime. Depends on how fast I can write the blog post. So, oh man, Parmesan and egg white omelet. That's really good. Okay, we are getting to that low boil again. So, switch really quick. Let's see. Just gonna. Oh no. It's probably way. Oh no, 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 no. Wasn't paying attention what I was doing. So some of it cooked on me. Got lumpy. So I'll pick that part out. Yeah. It's definitely thickening up on us. What happens when you don't pay attention to what you're doing. Ah. Okay. No, we'll make it work. All right, I think, yeah. Right. So, I'll take a small ladle here. Switch to our prep can. And I mean, it will all bake up solid anyway, but I was kind of hoping to make this look a little more effortless, but yeah. It's actually good that we got the pies out when we did, because I need to actually let these cool some and slice up my apples. They're going to go on top and bake directly on top of our tarts, which I will admit, some got a little messy. It's okay, as long as we have two, I think, that look decent, we'll be golden. Grab my drink. This is actually why I need that other mixing bowl. So, I'm just gonna set this here. You're gonna need 2 Gala apples. I usually go for Gala or Fuji because they tend to hold up structurally the best while baking. You can also use Granny Smith if you prefer a tartar, more tart apple, but you are also using lime zest and lime juice in this recipe, so it might actually unbalance it. So keep that in mind. So that lime that we worked with earlier, I'm just going to take out my new toy here. Isn't she pretty? And first, I'll do this to break up all of the sidewalls. Just gonna slice off the side. Oh, it's the first time I've used her, so. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Slice down the center. We're just going to squeeze that juice directly into this mixing bowl. This is going to keep our apple slices from going brown on us while we are arranging them and also slicing up the entirety of them. So. And granted, it's going to go brown in the oven anyway, but I prefer to have a little bit more of a uniform look. And heck, I mean, I'm using lime zest anyway. Figure I might as well use the whole fruit. Okay. So, next up, we need to do some apple slicing. Hey, Strike! It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in, lurking. All right, so got our apple. I am, do it this way. So, generally, sliced it right down the center. Then, we are going to be slicing these very, very thinly. This is why a sharp knife is essential. And yes, I know all knives are sharp. Not always. Especially if you are putting your knives in the dishwasher. Shame on you if you are. And there's a lot of times with knife cuts, you're creating stable surfaces and relatively evenly sized pieces, which is also why you see me sort of flipping this every once in a while to get that stable surface. All right, since that is currently exposed, I'm just going to go ahead and go through, find out which ones need to have the core sliced out. So, I'm just going to line those up and cut that out. Then put the slice directly into the lime juice. Let's see, that's fine. That's fine. So is that. So is that. Yep. Just cut that out. There we go. Okay. That is one apple half. There we go. Let's go ahead and slice up the other half. And this just reminded me, I need to preheat my oven. You'll be preheating your oven to about 356 degrees Fahrenheit. Just kind of halfway there anyway. All right, so now I'm getting to the point where it's threatened to flip over on me. So I'm just gonna continue to slice through like so. That's good. Sever those. And slice that bit out. And I'm just gonna go ahead while I'm at it, toss those apple slices in that lime juice, because as you can see, they're already starting to brown a little bit on me. There we go. Let's see. Go. That's a sacrifice. Get rid of this. And right, toss, remember to toss those apple slices. Get them coated in citrus. Oh, no, I should be fine going for 2. So, once again, slice down vertically like so. And then I will admit, I'm really enjoying this knife. It's so wickedly thin. Look at that. That's like freaking paper. Ah, I love it. All right, put that apple half in the bowl to keep it from going brown on me. All right. There we go. All right, those are good to go in. After this is all sorted out, I think we'll see if we need any more. I don't think we are, though. I might just have half an apple to use for whatever. So we'll see in a minute once I finish getting these slices here situated. That one looks fine. Okay, so let's bring these guys back. All right, so yeah. Sticking them directly into the custard. Might have way more apple than I anticipated. Yeah, I think I was not anticipating on these apples being this tall. So. Well, gives it kind of a rustic look, so I'm okay with that. I think it works out. This kind of sculpture with apple slices. No, you are not going in. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, get back here. There we go. seed off of there. I will admit, I'm kind of getting, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, it looks good enough. It'll work. It's rustic, which is really, you know, baker speak for it looks messy. It looks messy, but I kind of like it looking messy. Better like that. Give it a sort of shark fin look. Yeah. Let's see, so it'd be like that. Go. And I'm just kind of shoving apple pieces here and there. Until it looks, I guess, kind of artistic. That might be enough. I say as I add like 5 more slices to things. Maybe. No. That doesn't work there. That works more there. Perfect. Okay. So now, that melted butter I told you about earlier, we can actually use that now. Let's see. Drizzle that on there because it's kind of hard to brush it. And apparently I was wrong that we are going to need the sugar again in just a bit once I get the butter drizzled on these things. Looks like I can actually brush it now. excess butter here. Some of these other tarts. Okay. Don't need that anymore. Now, grab my sugar back. And find that half teaspoon, or it was around here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. I'm just gonna sprinkle out a half, well, I guess it would be more of a quarter teaspoon at this point over each tart. Or just do that. Do that until it looks good. Because this is a sugar tart after all. All right, and just because I'm weird, I'm also going to add a wee touch of kosher salt over the top as well. So I find that a lot of times salt helps balance flavors, especially sweetness, and bringing out the sweetness, and also making something taste a little bit more like the thing that you're cooking. So that is all put together. It's now time to put in my oven. Get that in there and set a timer. I'll check in about 15, but ultimately it's going to be about, I want to say 20 minutes until they're done. So, but like I said, I kind of want to check it because my oven tends to be a little bit on the hot side. So, got that going. So while we wait, I know that I need to start making biscuit dough for some English muffin. Well, I need to make some dough for some English muffins based off of the Spectrum Retreat, which I'm going to be making some smoked salmon eggs Benedict probably over this weekend. But the thing is, it takes overnight to actually let the dough rise. So, provided that I have enough time for that, which I think I will, we'll see. If not, well, we'll see. Let's see here. I wrote that. Okay. So I also need to take pictures. That's the big thing. It's kind of a pain in the butt when I'm streaming, but it might be an after stream thing while I wait for stuff to cool. So let's get the things I need for that, which will be a mixing bowl that is large enough to let dough rise in. And I'm also going to be putting a lid on that as well. And so I'm going to need, how much flour? About 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Where are you, Mr. Half Cup? That's a half cup. So if you'll just join me in sound as I wander down to my pantry to my big old 25-pound bag of flour that we buy from Costco. Our little rolly bins that we keep them in. So, that is my canister of sugar, not my canister of flour. If you're hearing the weird sounds, so 2.5, that means about 5 of these things. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And while I'm in here, I also need to grab my milk powder as well. There we go. Since I had exactly the amount of milk I needed to make these custard tarts tonight, I did not have enough milk to make my English muffin dough, but that's okay. Because, ladies and jelly spoons, kind of makes sense a little bit for the game anyway. And also, I already had written the recipe to reflect as such. I hope this sage is going to be fresh enough to work with. It's gone a little brown, but it'll be fine. It's still good to use. And big old thing of rosemary. Okay. So a lot of this, friends, is just taking prep photos. Oh, right, my pie's ready. I should probably take a bite of that. Well, I'm thinking about it. Pie. Still nice and hot. Awesome. And I remember to take my key. No, I did not remember to take my memory card out of my bag. Here we are. Memory card, where are you? Okay, good. And camera lens. And here's hoping that I don't accidentally knock my cameras out in the process, since all the wires to everything are everywhere. So here we are, Gluttonous Geek behind the scenes, as I photograph things that most people hardly pay attention to because they don't like reading the posts on food blogs. But it's okay. Okay. Where are you? Ah, here we are. It's on. It's been on. It's been on since I last used it. Which means I have no battery. Great! So that's gonna charge for a couple of hours, I think. Yeah. While I eat my pie, it's still quite hot. I'm just gonna go back there until I need it again. There we go. So yeah. Whew. I'm gonna take a look. Deep dive inside of this pie. We've got puff pastry, carrots, pork, mushrooms, and I know I got at least one cherry in here. I actually rewrote the recipe to include more cherries. So we kind of felt like that made it more, I might have eaten the only cherry actually. Oh wait, no, that's cherry. Yeah. We felt like that was what kind of made it a bit different than from a lot of other meat pies you tend to have. So just adds a little something else to the flavor, I think. I also rewrote the recipe a little bit to add some lemon zest, as well as brown sugar to round out the flavor a little bit. There. That was a cherry. Heck yeah. This is my dinner. Oh, yep, there we are. There's a cherry. Oh, that's good. But what I have to say, what I liked about this recipe was just how deceptively easy it was. And you saw tonight's recipe for the sugar tarts. It's actually not too difficult either. I mean, the nice thing about it is it looks like it should be difficult, but really it's, you just have to pay attention when it comes to cooking your custard. Otherwise it might end up a little lumpy like mine. But that should all settle out anyway as it cools. And it is being baked now. So, I'm just glad that I didn't basically get scrambled eggs, which can happen if you're not careful when cooking a custard. So, that's why it's usually good to add the hot milk to the egg mixture in a separate bowl, so you're not cooking from the bottom and cooking things unevenly. So, oh, that's good. I just hope I have enough energy tonight to get photos of these tarts, because my husband works in construction, and one of the vendors was giving out these as swag. It's from a countertop vendor. So, yeah, granite countertops, and they found out that Carter's company builds multifamily units, like basically 300 apartment units 6 times a year. So there's a lot of money in the multifamily industry. Hey, I've got we got some swag, and I've got a new cheese board, so I'm down for that. So that's I believe that's granite. I like that, and I like the little handles. They're fun. So I think that would be a really nice display board for the photos tonight. Hopefully it fits within the shot, which, considering I think I have to wait for these to cool anyway, I have some time to set up the shot, thank goodness. So I think that's what I'm going to do. After these cool, I'm going to go ahead and get my English muffin dough made up, get my shot set up for the tarts, and then I'm going to strip off all of my clothes and relax. I mean, I almost didn't stream tonight. I was very lucky in that because my husband was at said convention expo, he actually got home early. So I found him cleaning up my kitchen entirely. And then, which made me very happy, obviously. And also, I'm like, well, I have to do it now. The kitchen's clean. So, I'm lucky to have him. Because I'm not gonna lie, I overdid it today. I had a mad craving for some crab rangoons and crunch roll. So I went to this local all-you-can-eat sushi place, and I had crunch roll and crab rangoons. But the trouble is, their crunch rolls are like this big, and it'd be fine, if I'm sharing it with another person. But no, it's just me. So I had that. I also was behind on getting my emissions test for my tag, so stuck in my car, AC going at full blast, and the thermometer in my car says it's about 100 degrees outside. I'm just going, why? It's like I'm having my friends sending me funny pictures to make me feel better. But I mean, after that, the heat, overeating, I did not have energy at all. And come home and find my husband cleaning my kitchen. I'm like, okay, thank you for, it's a nice thing if you have a good spouse. They'll help keep you on track. I mean, that's what I find a lot of love is helping the person you love keep on track. And being proud of them and supporting everything they do. So, I'm very lucky with that. About 2 minutes left on the initial check for our tarts. I just took a peek. It is likely going to need that extra 5 minutes, possibly even longer. I just want the apples to be a little bit more cooked than they currently are. But, I mean, a minute or two here or there could make all the difference. So we'll, like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. So, Ooh. Wonder how I'm doing on that battery charge. Oh yeah, nope. It's still pretty dead. All right. Don't need you anymore, so you can go away. All right. Don't need you anymore, so... Actually, I'm kind of curious to taste how this custard turned out. That actually turned out quite excellent. To keep myself from eating this whole thing. Definitely got the almond in there. But the lime zest definitely keeps it from being too overwhelming. 15 seconds left on our bake. Yeah, it's definitely gonna need that extra 5. So I'm just gonna set the timer for an extra 5 minutes and let it do its thing as I finish off what's left of my pie. That's right, 3/4 of the show is cooking, 1/4 of the show is watching me eat and clean. And also blathering on about things. That's good. And that means I have the space to do this. Clean that all up. There we go. Alrighty. What is that from? Huh. Maybe? Oh gosh. Is there? No? Okay. Thought there was something on my cutting board, but give that a quick wipe. I am not sure what that is. I'm probably gonna have to sand that out. Yeah, whatever it is, it's gotten in there. Okay. 4 more minutes. Thank you, 4. Okay. What to do with the rest of this apple? I feel just like cutting things. I know that sounds kind of wrong, doesn't it? I've got half an hour left anyway. So I'm just playing now. I wonder. I think this is normally done with a razor on a stick. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right at all. Nope. I am not a bento artist. That, and admittedly, this is not really quite the knife to be doing that. Oh, if I want to peel them. I think I'm just playing with my food now. It's probably not the healthiest thing to do. Or rather, I'm just playing with this knife. At least clear this out. Smell excellent, I can say that. Do I need to do this? Not really. Do I want to do this? Meh. There we go. Okay. Trivets. I need one. Got two. Okay. Out of mitts. Let's see how it turned out. Aha! There we go. It turned out pretty. I just need to wait for that to cool entirely before you serve. But go ahead. And get some sliced almonds. And remember that lime zest we got earlier? We're going to use that as a garnish as well. And I feel like it adds a nice little pop of color to what would normally be a pretty monotoned dish. So yeah, I would recommend letting these cool for about at least 10 minutes or just wait until they cool completely until you pop them out and serve them. Now granted, these little tart pans here are a little easier to get your tart out of because they have the little removable bottom. These little mini donut things, a little less so, but we're gonna try it anyway. So anyway, with that, I would like to thank you for joining me tonight for the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. We made Hriiat's almond and apple sugar tarts from Dungeons and Dragons Volo's Guide to Waterdeep. Next week, we will be making some honey braised boar ribs, i.e., pork baby back ribs, that we're going to actually be doing in a pressure cooker with honey and spiced cider, and that is inspired from Dragon Magazine's Instant article. We'll be doing that, and I'll be figuring out what the heck is going to be my third blog post recipe for this week. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope to see you next Wednesday. And as always, stay safe, stay sane, stay you. My name is Catherine Barsonistis. You've been watching the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. Have a great night.